Welcome to the Unapologetic Mompreneur, the podcast for mums with an online business who are ready to take back their time, home, business, and self so they can restore the balance and thrive, both at home and at work, without feeling like they have to choose between the two. I'm your host, Sarah Dew, life and biz coach for mompreneurs. I'm also a mum, stepmom, wife, introvert, breast cancer survivor, and your mentor for making a change for the better. I've learned how to go from surviving to thriving and unapologetically create a business I love and the life I want for me and my family without worrying about what other people think. And now I'm here to help you do the same. Because being an unapologetic mompreneur doesn't mean that we're selfish or that we don't care about others. It simply means that we are not afraid to show up as our true, authentic selves, to step into our purpose, do what we know is right for ourselves and the ones we love, and take the steps we need to take to make our dream life and business a reality. Join me each week where I'll be sharing all of my best tips and strategies, plus the occasional dose of tough but gentle love to help you feel empowered, motivated, and confident to take action so that you can become the mum, wife, biz owner, and woman you know you are meant and deserve to be. So, are you ready to unapologetically create a business and life you love? Let's do this. Hey there, and welcome to episode 107 of the Unapologetic Mompreneur podcast. If you are anything like me, I am guessing that you started your business to give yourself more freedom, more flexibility, and more fulfillment. Not to feel like you have just swapped one full-time job for another. So if you've been feeling a little heavy in your business lately, or like it has lost some of its spark, you are not alone, and you are definitely not doing anything wrong. You might just be building a business that is out of alignment with your current life, your energy, or your goals. I have been there more than once, and it is something that I often see with my clients. When we're first diving into our Biz Mentor program, my one-on-one voice coaching program for accountability and helping them accomplish their goals, we dig into what is going on in their businesses, and they talk about things that are feeling heavy and that things are out of alignment. And it's something that I see come up time and time again. And during our time together, we dig into that. We look at what's feeling out of alignment and look at the areas of their businesses that are draining them. And then we work on switching that around and focusing on the things that do light them up, that do feel aligned, and lift them up so that business becomes lighter, easier, and more fun again. But how do you know if you and your business are out of alignment? And what do you do about it so that things feel lighter and more fun again so that you can fall back in love with your business? That's exactly what we are going to dig into today. I'm going to be sharing with you 5 signs that your business might be slowly draining you, maybe without you even realizing it. And don't worry if you're going to say yes to any of these, which I'm sure some of them have cropped up time and time again for you. I am not going to leave you hanging. I'm going to be sharing with you a few simple things that you can do with each one to help you get back on track, to help you feel like things are back in alignment, and to remove and eliminate and say goodbye to the things that are draining you so that you can focus on the things that lift you up and feel good in your business again. Sign number 1 is that you dread Monday mornings. Those Sunday scaries, that pit in your stomach feeling before the week even begins, where you're sitting on the sofa, chilling out, thinking about the week ahead and thinking, oh no, here we go again, Groundhog Day, back into the same run of mill. Or even on a Monday morning when the alarm goes off, you hit that snooze button and you just don't want to get out of bed. You don't want to focus on the work. Instead of feeling excited, ready to jump out, you just want to pull the cover over your head and go back to sleep. Those feelings, they are not normal, even though we often normalize it. And people talk about the Sunday scaries and that it makes it part of the normal day-to-day grind. But guess what? If your business is bringing you more dread than excitement, if you are dreading the thought of getting up and going and working on your business come Monday morning, and you would rather clean house than turn on your laptop, it is a sign that something is off. not with you, but the way your business is set up. We start our businesses because we are passionate about something, because we feel called to serve others and that have something that we know we can help and support and make a difference for somebody else. And because we want that time freedom and that money freedom. We're not jumping from one job that we hate to another and turning our businesses into a chore. But sometimes without realizing, we can turn our business into a beast. And that can create those Sunday scaries. I have been there many times over the years. And as soon as I start thinking about the Sunday scaries creeping in, or I am dreading Monday mornings, that is a sure sign for me that my business is draining me and that something isn't right. So if you feel like you are dreading Monday mornings and those Sunday scaries and that pit of your stomach before the week even begins, it's a sign that something is off. Take a look at your business and think about what is going on in there that makes things feel heavy. And what is making you wish that it was Friday again already? Dig into that. Those Sunday evenings when you're sitting on the sofa and you're thinking, oh, here we go again. Monday morning tomorrow, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. And it just fills you with dread before you even go to bed. And then waking up first thing Monday morning with that pit in your stomach that you've got to go and switch on your laptop. What about that makes it feel heavy? Because there probably is something there that you already know that is draining you in your business that you either haven't given attention to yet, or maybe it's something there that you haven't realized until you start digging into it. Spend some time thinking about it and mulling over it. What brings up those Sunday scaries and the dread of the Monday morning? And then what can you do about it? Know that you don't need to overhaul everything or pull the eject handle and burn everything to the ground, which I will come on to shortly. But just start by getting curious about which parts of your business feel misaligned and is causing you to have those Sunday scaries and dread those Monday mornings. Sign number 2 is that you have built something requiring hours that you don't have. As busy mums whose days are dictated by the school calendar, we don't have the time to pour 40 plus hours a week into our businesses. And trying to do so is a recipe for exhaustion, constant stress, and that dreaded mum guilt. Again, this is one that I may or may not be talking from experience here. Every one of these signs that I'm sharing with you today are not just signs that I see with my clients, but are signs that have come up for me again and again. And I've learned that anytime these crop up, it's time for me to look at what's going on in my business because there is something going on that is making things feel drained. And one of the signs is that you've built something requiring the hours that you don't have. We've been ingrained to think that when we're working our 9 to 5, that is what we need to do in our businesses as well. And I definitely fell into that trap when I first started out. I left my corporate, my 9 to 5, and I instantly went into my business thinking I had to do the exact same thing to work 9 to 5 and try and map out my days to fit those traditional 9 to 5 hours. But that doesn't work when you have got kids, when your kids are at school and everything is dictated by the school calendar. Our days are a lot shorter. My days are 9 a.m. until 2:30. And then if I'm lucky and he's busy after school when he gets in, I can quickly sneak in another hour before I need to start thinking about what's going on for dinner and everything else. But we don't have those 40 plus hours a week to work on our businesses. And something I've learned over the years that took me a very long time to figure out, and is the same for my clients too. And one of the first things that I take them through when we are working inside my Bizmentum program is mapping out our businesses to fit the school calendar. Because it's easy to think that we have got 52 weeks in the year, just like everybody else. But those that don't have kids aren't dictated by the school calendar. They can work their goals on those 52 weeks of the year if they want to. And when you're working in a corporate space and you take those 4 or 5 holidays or weeks off a year, you get the rest of the time to work on your work. But we don't have that as mums building margins in the school day. Once I sat down and actually calculated how many weeks and I pulled in all of the school holidays, all of the half-term breaks, instead of the 52, we have about 36. And that is a lot less number of weeks than we first think we have to work on our business and in our goals. And so when you are stuck in a cycle of never having enough time, it's usually because the business model or the strategy you're using isn't built for your life. If you feel like you are squeezing your work into every spare second that you have, that you are working all day, that you are catching it first thing in the morning, you're spending evenings when on the sofa once the kids are in bed, you're catching what weekends and snatching hours there that you can, and you're feeling exhausted from it, trying to fit your business into hours that you don't have, it might be time to reassess what actually works for your lifestyle. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. What works for you? Take a step back, have a look at your calendar, what is going on, the number of weeks that you have realistically actually got available to work on your business, and then what goes on in each of those weeks with the number of hours you've realistically got available. Because if you're feeling like you've got something where you don't have the hours to work and enough hours, it's probably because you are setting goals and mapping things out to fit in time that you don't realistically have. It's your business and you get to call the shots, which means it's okay to do things differently. Once I realized this was the case for me and I started mapping out my business to match Harrison's school calendar, everything changed. I know now I have 3 terms a year to work on my business. The autumn term that we're in right now, spring term and summer term. Each of those has about 12, 13 weeks with a midterm half break. And you can bet that is how I run my business too. All of my goals and everything I work on are mapped to set out and match that term calendar and built into my term time day, knowing that I've got around from 9 a.m. until 2:30 to work on my business. Once I started doing that and building my business into something that matched the hours I actually had, everything changed. So if you feel like you just don't have the time, take a look at what you're working on in the number of hours you realistically have. And that may actually help you switch things around. It will definitely make business feel a whole lot easier and like you are not constantly behind and always playing catch up. Sign number 3 is that you are always in reactive mode. Feel like you're always putting out fires or like your days are dictated by your inbox, your DMs, your client requests, and trying to chase all of the algorithm changes, you are most likely living in reactive mode. And when you're in reactive mode, you are running your business based on other people's needs and timelines, not your own vision, which is a fast track to burnout and another way that your business is going to drain you. Your business should follow your rhythm, not everybody else's urgency. So if you feel like you are constantly in reactive mode, it's time to take a step back, to shift back into a place of intention and look at where those fires are coming from. What constantly calls on your demands of your day in your business? Where do you feel like you are always fighting fires? And where do you feel like you are always in reactive mode? And how can you put those fires out? This exercise is something that is going to help you get back into the driving seat of your business. Again, it's something else I always take my clients through when we first start working together. We look at where all of the fires are that make them feel like they are in reactive mode, all of the things that are dictating and taking up their time, that is on other people's needs and other people's timelines, that is preventing them from actually calling the shots in their business and steering the ship instead of riding the waves. So look at where those fires are coming from. How can you put them out and take back control? And then make sure that you are clear on your goals of what you are working on and set the boundaries that are going to protect your time and your energy. I've got another episode coming up very soon where we are going to be digging into 5 different boundaries that you can bring into your life and business that will save your schedule and your sanity. So make sure that you keep an eye for that one. But in the meantime, if you feel like you are always in reactive mode, it's time to take a step back and look at where you can put out those fires. Sign number 4 is that you are booked out but not lit up. There is a ton of pressure in the online space that in order to be successful, you have to be booked out. But here is the truth that most don't talk about. Being fully booked isn't a win if you are working with the wrong people or offering services that you hate. On paper, things might look great, but if your calendar is full, your energy is flat, and the work that once excited you now leaves you feeling drained, it might be time to give things a bit of a refresh. Just because something sells doesn't mean that you have to keep doing it. Like I already said, it's your business and you get to call the shots. And so it is okay to evolve and switch things up if you want to. I have done this several times in my business over the past 8 years. Just because I had already had something and it was selling well, if it wasn't lighting me up, it was okay for me to let it go. And I did let it go. And that makes way and makes room for things that do light you up and allows for you to follow on and start bringing new things in that feel more in alignment of where you are right now. Because the longer you have your business, the more you grow, the more your business evolves, and the more of where your clients are at evolves too. And sometimes the services that you're offering no longer match, and the things of where you're at no longer match to where you are now. So if you are feeling that you are booked out but not lit up, take a look of what is going on. Who are you working with? Do they feel like the right client for you? And what offers and services are you offering and selling right now? Remember, just because they're selling, just because you're booked out, doesn't mean you have to keep doing that. This season right now for autumn, for fall season, is the season of letting go. All of the trees are shedding their leaves, getting ready to set themselves up for another season. Allow that with yourself now too. This is the season to let go. What is no longer serving you in your business? If you are booked out but not lit up, take a look at those and allow yourself that permission to let things go to make way for the new. And then finally, sign number 5 is that you fantasize about pulling the plug. This one is a big one. And if a business owner tells you that they have never felt this way, they are lying. We have all been there, me included. We have all had days or moments where it's just done, we've had enough, it's not working, we're fed up with it, it's too much hard work, we're not seeing the results we want, and we just want to burn everything to the ground, to pull the plug, to throw in the towel and walk away. But if you've got that desire to walk away from everything, it's an indicator that you are craving a fresh start. That what is going on in your business right now is draining you. It's not lighting you up and you're looking for something new. Maybe you've just been doing it so long that you're bored, and it's okay to want to offer something or do something totally new or something slightly different. But it doesn't have to be an all or nothing. It is possible to realign without burning everything down to the ground. If you are feeling this way right now, if you are thinking about pulling the plug, of giving up, of letting go, of walking away, find your north again by taking a step back, by checking in with your values, reconnecting with your why, and simplifying what has become too complicated. Check back in with the reasons why you started your business in the first place. What matters to you most? What are your values? What do you love about your business? What would you offer if you really could, if it didn't matter and if you weren't worried about how it would look or whether you would fail or all of the other things and thoughts that come up in our minds when we think about doing something slightly differently? Tap into that and think about how you can get back in alignment and reignite that business spark. Maybe it's just simply that things are going on in your business that are too complicated and that you need to simplify things. I've definitely been guilty of that. Maybe it's that the systems and things on your back end aren't set up properly and it's just causing frustration and overwhelm. So maybe you need to spend some time actually just getting those systems into place to make business life lighter and easier. Maybe it's like number 4 that you're booked out but not lit up just because something is selling, but it doesn't bring you joy anymore. And that's what's making you want to pull the plug. Remember, it's your business. You get to call the shots and do things the way you want to do them and offer what you want to offer. That desire to walk away is an indicator you are looking for something fresh and new. Like I said, it doesn't have to be all or nothing. You can realign without burning everything to the ground. Just tap into your north again by taking a step back, checking in with your values, and reconnecting with your why. If any of these have had you nodding along, know that you are not alone. Like I said in the beginning, I have been there too more than once. Every single one of these 5 signs that I've shared with you today are signs that have cropped up for me time and time again. And they are signs that I see all the time with my clients when we're working inside our one-on-one Biz Mentor program. And the steps that I've just shared that you can take to help you realign things so that business doesn't feel like it's draining you, they're the exact steps that I take and the steps that I take them through too. So if you are feeling like you're dreading Monday mornings and those Sunday scaries and that pit of stomach feeling, think about what about in your business is making things feel heavy and what makes you wish that it was Friday again already. Dig into that and see what comes up. If you're feeling like you've built something that you have requires the hours that you don't have the time for, take a look at what is going on in your calendar. How many hours are you trying to fit in and work, and how many hours do you realistically have? Switch things around and look at the hours you have first, and then build your business around that. And then, if you are like me and your kids are at school, adopt that term time roadmap where you are working with term times instead of quarters, and the dates and terms of the kids' school, using the half term points as those check-in points to help you stay on track. If you're always in reactive mode, look at where those fires are that you're constantly fighting and ask how you can put them out. And then make sure you've got your boundaries to protect your time and energy so that you can keep those fires at bay, and maybe from even starting. If you're feeling that you're booked out but not lit up, look at what's going on and what you're offering. And remember that just because something sells doesn't mean that you have to keep doing it. And then if you fantasize about pulling the plug, know that it's time for things to have a fresh start. It's an indicator that you're looking for something fresh, exciting, and a little bit different. So check back in with your north, look at your values, and reconnect with your why. So those are the 5 signs that are draining you. If you've said yes to any of those, pick the one that stands out the most right now and action on the strategies that I've shared with you. And then stay tuned for next week, because we are going to be doing the second part of this one, where we're going to be tapping into ways to build a business that doesn't drain you. Because like I said, you don't need to start over. You don't need to burn it all around. You don't need to throw it all out. Just a few small intentional tweaks can make a world of difference. And I'm going to be sharing with you a few things that you can do to help you do just that, so that you can build a business that doesn't drain you, and business feels easier, lighter, and in alignment with who you are and what you want to offer. And if this episode hit home and you are ready to start turning things around, if you want personalized support in building a business that doesn't drain you, one that lights you up, fits your life, and feels like yours, this is exactly what I help my clients do every day, whether it is one of my Biz Growth Breakthrough Brews, my Power Hour strategy sessions, or working with me inside Biz Mentor. Redesigning your business to support you is not only possible, it is one of my superpowers. And together we can make it happen. Which one of these signs resonated with you the most? I would love to hear from you. I'm here for you. So go and send me a DM over on Instagram at the Unapologetic Mompreneur, and let's get a conversation going. In the meantime, you have got this. Here is to building a business that doesn't drain you, but that lights you up and fills you with joy. And I cannot wait to chat with you in the next episode. Bye for now. Thank you so much for joining me for another installment of the Unapologetic Mompreneur podcast. If you like what you heard, be sure to hit that subscribe button so that you never miss an episode. And if you have a moment, I would love for you to leave me a rating and a review so that other mompreneurs can find this podcast too. Here's to unapologetically becoming the mum, wife, biz owner, and woman you know you are meant and deserve to be. I can't wait to chat with you in the next episode. Bye for now.